first started playing, actually picked up a racket when I was about 5 years old. And I started because my parents picked up the sport and just loved it. They loved it so much that they actually built a court at their house. And so, in the mornings and on the weekends when they had time, they would be out on the court, and of course I would follow them with racket in hand. And initially, my dad just did not want to be bothered with me. He wanted to play. He didn't want to be bothered with the little kid that could barely hit the ball, and so he put me on the fence. And I'd be hitting on the fence, and for anybody that knows what it's like to hit against a chain link fence, the ball does not come back. So you have to hit the ball really hard, and even then you're constantly picking the ball up and starting over again. And when I think about it now, it seems like it would have been pretty frustrating, but I did it, and I did it until he took pity on me and decided to actually start hitting with me. And that kind of started my career and my love of the sport, for lack of a better word. And, of course, I started taking lessons at a certain point. At 6 years old, I had a few lessons. Got into a program when I was 7 years old in Lafayette, Louisiana, Red Laurel's Health and Racket Club. Beautiful club, nice facility. I was able to train. That was one of the benefits for me. I was able to train. I had all of the facilities that I needed to really keep improving. And I also got involved in the program with John Bryan in Lafayette. And a pretty tough program, but I think what I appreciated most about it was that it taught me the fundamentals of the game, and it gave me the base of what I took with me throughout my whole career. Starting off with the basics, starting off with the ground strokes, targets, big areas. Those are just the things that for me became cornerstones of the sport that I've grown to love and I've loved throughout my whole career. But I certainly remember some moments over the years that, weren't all rosy. I think of my first tournament, I was 7 years old, actually 7 and a half, I should say, and I was playing in the 10 and unders because they didn't have 8 and under age group, and I ended up playing the number 1 seed, and I got beat 11-love. And I was so upset and crying, and I could barely keep score, but I thought I should win. And of course, my parents wanted me to calm down. It's okay. It's your first match. You're not expected to win. But I didn't care. I was mad. And I think for me, that kind of set the stage for my desire to improve and my desire to get better. And it just took me through turning pro at 15. It took me through the ups and downs of my career, getting to 6th in the world, which I did at 19. Got injured, came back, got back to 11 in the world, had to have some additional surgeries after some more injuries, got back to 7 in the world. And through it all, I think it was just the journey that I tried to bring a positive aspect to. Whether I was up or down, whether I was winning or losing, I was always taught that it's how you play the game, it's how you approach the game, it's what you put into it, because you're going to get that back out. And I think over the course of my career, that's proven true. And I'm just so thankful to be here tonight. I have the support of my family and the support of friends and people that have just followed my career over the years. And I'm seeing some old friends and certainly making some new ones. And I'm just so thrilled and thankful for all the support and for being inducted tonight. My first match is a little bit shaky because I played initially some challenger tournaments before I turned pro. So I do remember one of my first pro matches on the challenger circuit. I hadn't yet turned pro, but I was playing in St. Simon Island somewhere, and I don't know why, I just remember that place in particular, but I had to go through qualifying. And initially when you're playing, it's kind of overwhelming. You don't know what to expect. As a junior, I didn't know where I would fit, how I would be able to compete. I'm competing against women. At the time, I was almost 14. And so it was kind of daunting when I thought about it, but again, it was just the base that I had in the game and the base of what I went out there to do on the court when I went into matches. And it didn't matter whether I was playing junior matches or pro matches, I kind of took the same approach. And I ended up getting through qualifying. I lost in the second round of that event, but it really kind of solidified for me that you never know where you are, but you just have to, do what you practice. Go out there and compete, get back to your fundamentals whenever you're in doubt a little bit. And I think, those are the things I've kind of learned as I've gone along. But it definitely started with one of my first pro matches. I have a number of matches. I think the matches that I'm most proud of are the matches where I turn things things around. I mean, I've certainly had some comebacks in my career. One of the most memorable ones was at the French Open against Chanda Rubin, where I was down 5-0 40 love. And, I ended up coming back and winning that match. I wouldn't have guessed that I was going to win that match at that moment in time, but I didn't quit. I kept going. I just stayed in there, and that was, of course, a valuable lesson. And I think it really started my first run into the top 10, because about 9 months later, I'd sort of made it into the top 10, got to 6 at that point. So that was the first match where I really built a level of confidence in what I could do on a big stage, because it was center court at a Grand Slam, and I was playing against a top 10 player. And until you get your first top 10 win, you never really are certain whether you can or not. You think you can, but until you do it, it's not concrete. So I think that really was a big moment for me. But I think also matches where I was more on even par, the same ranking, and having a tough time in a match, like another match I played against a Japanese player. We're neck and neck, in the third set, and I had to do some different things. I like to hit the ball, I like to be aggressive, but I had to start playing a little bit differently. I had to stay in points a little bit longer, mix up my shots, and that was something where it was a situation where I got outside of myself. And I think those are matches, and that's a moment where I'm definitely most proud of during my career.